on this chapter. So the definition of open source software is that the software is allowed the users or other inventor to re-edit the software. You can improve, you can develop this software, and you can make this software better. And but what is this free open source software? So this computer software that can be classified as both free software and open source software. And those open source software is freely licensed to use. It means that you can use whenever and whatever you want. And as long as you just want to improve, you want to make this software better. So everyone is encouraged to edit this software. And mm, how can we classify this open source? There are there are some simple there are simple features of this software, open source software. It is free to use, it is free to change, it is free to distribute, which means that it is totally free if we want to use this software because it is open source. It's apparent that open means that it's like the door is open. You can enter, get in. You can get in whenever you want. So it is free to use. And also you can change this software. You can re-edit this software and you can distribute it. And all of this, you don't have to pay for it. And the history of the open source has been developing from 1970s to now. And there are some criteria for open source. And you need those source code and the derived works and the free redistribution and the distribution of license. So when you have those source code, you can edit this software. And you must have the derived works so you can improve it. And an important thing is that there is no discrimination against person or groups. Everyone's purpose is to improve those software, so people are not allowed to discriminate others when you develop this software. And Linux is one of the most famous open source software. And users can, if you know those code, and you can feel free to um, distribute and you can re-edit, you can improve those software. And another example for open source software are those Apache Bind and the SendMail and the Mozilla and the OpenSSL. All of those software you can edit and you can distribute it. And when you want to edit those software, you must use some programming tools like Zoop or PHP. And the language you are going to use is Perl, Python, Ruby, and TCL. And other example of open source software are those GCC, Make, AutoConf, Automake. And there are four famous open source companies: IBM, Apple, HP, and Sun. When we use the Apple cell phone, we may be confused that you can only download those apps from the App Store, but you cannot customize your cell phone. But it is different from the Macintosh, the laptop of Apple. Everyone can edit those apps, and with the open source, the QuickTime streaming server, the OpenPlay network gaming toolkit, you can distribute it. And other companies are Red Hat Software, the Linux vendor, and the Active State. It develops and sells professional tools for pro. So it is a company that invented the professional tools. When we compare the open source versus the closed source, we may have a lot of questions for them. The advantage of open source is that it is availability of source code. When you have the source code, you can make your own code and you can improve them. And it doesn't depend on the vendor because everyone, the users are allowed to develop the software. It is the vendor is not necessary to develop them. And there were some disadvantages of open source, like the bad codes, because the users are from different levels of the coding. Some of them may be good at coding, but some of them are not. The software may have a lot of bugs. And there are open source office software like OpenOffice, LibreOffice, NeoOffice, and KOffice. So my conclusion would be this sharing idea and to put those software into the open source market will be helpful for those developers and the users. They can provide a better service to all of the users. So there's a pretty good idea for this market. So that's it. Thanks for watching.